Marriage is one of the biggest commitments you'll ever make.
Entrepreneurship is one of the hardest journeys you'll ever take.
And when you choose to build a business and raise a family at the same time,
you face challenges most marriages never have to navigate.
We know because we've lived it.
We've experienced seasons of misalignment, financial pressure, and moments where growth tested our connection.
Not because we lacked love, but because building something meaningful together requires conversations most couples aren't prepared for.
Welcome to EntrepreMarriage. I'm Micah.
And I'm Mahogany.
This podcast exists to help couples build wealth
without losing the marriage.
Let's talk about it.
Hey y'all, what is up? Hope you're having a great one so far. Welcome back to EntrepreMarriage. Today we're real excited to talk to you guys a little bit about mindset, our experiences in our younger ages, and things like that.
Yeah, mindset, teaching a stronger mindset to your children. Also encouraging your children to leave home, not really kicking them out, but like we're going to kind of talk about our opinions on that. And then y'all, jump in the comments, leave a comment, whatever, on YouTube, wherever you're watching, and just kind of, talk about, our positive mindset and like the things you give to your children as far as like helping them grow and have a positive mindset as well.
Yeah, I know for me, I left home from Oregon to Texas when I was 18. I graduated high school in May of 2010, and I left Salem, Oregon, and went straight to Austin, Texas, where I had no family besides an aunt who lived about 45 minutes away. I took off at a young age. I remember sitting in the airport after a vacation I had taken with my grandmother, because whenever we traveled, most of the times it was with my grandma. So we were coming back from a trip, and she's like, Mahogany, I was a senior in high school, and she's like, if you could go anywhere for college, where would you go? And I thought about it, and I was like, I think Texas, because all the time we would travel to Texas, I just remember seeing like a lot of Black people. And coming from Portland, Oregon, Salem, Oregon especially, I was like the only Black girl in the class most times, in the whole school most times. So I just knew I wanted to be around some people who looked like me. So my grandmother, she made it happen. She had me start taking different SATs, ACT tests, and things like that. I started applying for scholarships. I did get a couple of scholarships, one being the left-hand scholarship, the scholarship for being a lefty, and a couple other scholarships. But I did that, and I worked really hard to get my GPA exactly where it needed to be. So I ended up coming to Texas, to Austin, Texas for school. I went to Houston-Tillotson University. I remember my grandmother came down. She dropped me off. I had a car that I had bought off my uncle's car lot. And I remember just feeling like, wow, this is really happening. I went shopping for all the things in my dorm room. I stayed on campus my first 3 months of college until I saw a lizard in my dorm room, and I had to get up out of there. I was like, no, an Oregon girl in Texas, we're not used to that. So I just remember my mindset being, wow, I can't F this up. Like, my grandmother spent all this money to get me out here, and I've taken out these loans. Like, this has to happen was my mindset at the time.
Yeah. Because, like me, I had a very similar situation. And to like kind of recap for you guys, we're telling you guys this because we're going to break this to children and like positive mindset and like having the power of leaving home. So like I left home. I grew up in Oregon and Washington as well. I was born in Portland, raised in Vancouver. My parents moved to the Pacific Northwest in 87. I was born in 89. So I always knew like I wasn't going to live up there because my whole life I was back and forth between Oregon, Washington, Arkansas. And I knew like, dang, there ain't no Black people up here, but there's Black people down there. So I knew I wasn't about to be up there, right? So, but my goal was actually to get to Atlanta, but I wasn't able to go because of a family tragedy, and I think you guys are here before. But I ended up going to Arkansas, where my family's from. Now, the thing about transitioning to that when I was going to Arkansas was I had always been around my family in spurts, but like consistent spurts, but like now I'm living here. So I remember living there. I was going to college. I like really learned like more family dynamics, like your aunts, your uncles, your aunties, your sisters, because like me and my sisters were there, and then my brother was back home. So I learned those family dynamics, living with my sister, sleeping on my sister's couch, sleeping on my uncle's couch, having a room at my uncle's, sleeping on my cousin's couch, like back and forth and doing all that while going to college, sleeping on my auntie couch, and just kind of learning family dynamics, knowing family will take care of you. Like my auntie would cook for me on Sundays. My cousin would cook for me, and I just always knew like, okay, I really enjoyed Arkansas, but I learned real quick I wasn't going to be there because I'm like, okay, there's no opportunity here. But I noticed all the people from here, they either go to Atlanta, they go to Houston, they go to Dallas, they go to one of the three, or they'll go somewhere else, but those are usually the main three. And so I was like, man, let me try, I could start coming to Dallas, I think in like 2009, 2010. Then I think I linked back up with Mahogany. But those times of being like away from our parents and away from like our guardians, as you would say, I think it really built that mindset of you start being, because I went to Arkansas, but I was around people who had always lived there. Your mindset is different because you see like endless opportunity. And I think that's the power of leaving home at like a young age. Because if you notice people who leave home, they go to a place looking for opportunity. So if you see foreigners when they come to America, they're like, oh, they always make it. It's because their mindset is on opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times when you stay still, you forget looking for opportunity. You just start going through the day-to-day. It's like one of the last episodes you talking about, you start talking about you feeling empty. You sometimes just stop looking for opportunity. You just start going for the day-to-day. And I remember when I came to Texas, I was like, oh, man, I like it down here. People moving. And so when I moved here, like in 2013, man, it's been like taking off. Me and Mahogany got married. We bought houses. We have kids. And we see the power of going somewhere else and then going somewhere else with a mindset of, okay, what's the opportunity here? And I feel like that's very important. So I think the niche of this discussion is also going to be is, I'm not saying kick your kids out, but are y'all encouraging y'all kids to like leave home? Not kicking them out, but saying, hey, go try this. I'm going to send you here. What are y'all thoughts on that? And I don't know, Mahogany, you give your thoughts. And like, I know, because like the effects it had on you leaving home.
Yeah, I think the effects of leaving home for me was independence. I remember like having to go grocery shopping, making sure I had food. Of course, I had access to the cafeteria on campus, but I was only on campus for about 3 months. Like I said before, I moved off campus into an apartment that I lived in by myself. I had a job. I worked a couple of part-time jobs next to going to school. So I believe that instilled a work ethic in me. Like you have to wake up, you have to go to work, you have to get off that job, go to your next job, you have to study for this test. And it just really taught me like to have grit and endurance. I remember telling myself a lot of times when I wanted to give up, this is just temporary. This is only 4 years. You got this. Like after this is going to be just, and my dad would also tell me that this is a small, tiny fraction of your life. Like knock it out. And so, for me, I just kept in mind, this is just a small little window of time that I have to grind, that I have to work hard. And it's going to help me become a better person in the midst of it. So that itself really motivated me to like work hard. And even when I got weary, I'm not going to lie, like I had a couple of breakdowns throughout those 4 years where it's just like, I can't do this. I want to go home. Like all that, especially being away from family. I had an aunt, like I said, that was 45 minutes away, but I only saw her probably like 2 or 3 times throughout my whole 4-year career in college. So it wasn't a whole lot of support there. But I did make some lifelong friends during that process. I did pretty much became who I am today through those 4 years of college. I believe if that is a really crucial window of time, like from being 18 to graduating college, those first 4 years after turning 18 is going to put you on a good path or not towards your future. So I'm thankful for leaving home. I'm so thankful that I didn't stay home. I go back home often, and I notice that the people who are still there oftentimes, not all of them. Some of them made really great careers or making really great impacts in their communities. But a lot of times they just become another number, another statistic. And it's kind of sad to see because if you've left home, there's like a lot of opportunity out there. There's such a big world to see. There's so many experiences to have, so many people to meet, different walks of life to come across. And if you don't leave home, it's like you don't really know that unless you're on vacation. And when you're only on vacation, in your mind, it might seem like, oh, everyone's doing this and this because they're on vacation. No, you're on vacation. But I think it could be confusing and conflicting if you're not permanently in that environment. Like I actually love, like I hope my kids do something like go abroad for like a year and then come back home and go somewhere else for a year and come back home. I'm going to encourage that. Like, yeah, it can be scary leaving home, but missing out on those learning opportunities and that exposure is really doing a disservice to your children and yourself.
Before we jump back into the episode, we want to invite you into something a little bit deeper.
If this conversation is resonating with you, it doesn't have to stop here. We continue these discussions daily inside of our private Facebook group.
It's called the EntrepreMarriage community, a space where couples talk openly about marriage, money, leadership, and entrepreneurship.
We're all focused on one thing, building the wealth without losing the marriage and doing it intentionally.
It's real conversations, real growth, and real alignment with people who are building just like you.
If you want to keep growing with us beyond the podcast, we'd love to have you there.
The link to the EntrepreMarriage community will be in the show notes.
Come tap in with us.
Join the EntrepreMarriage Facebook community. I think expanding your mind is the most important thing you can do because it just opens you up to like not only opportunity, you start to see like there's differences in the world. You know what I'm saying? There's differences across the United States a little bit, but like once you start going abroad, it's like cultural differences. You start seeing like different education levels, access to different resources. And I feel like that's like what helped me because you even notice like even you live here in Dallas, right? If you notice, and I'm not saying everyone who does this, the people who live here, they see less opportunity here than us. And I always tell people, if you really want to know something about a city, you can either ask the person who's lived there their whole life or go ask the person who's been living here 10 years. I'd ask the person who's been living here 10 years because they're going to tell you every single opportunity if they have a positive mindset. Most of the time, they're going to have opportunity. They're going to be able to see it. I be reading on threads, like people who come to Texas and then don't like it. This is what I always tell you if you're moving somewhere. Don't look for home where you're moving to. Look for the opportunities there, and that's where the mindset piece is key because people are like, oh, I want to, like I'm from Portland. If I go looking for Portland in Texas, you ain't going to find, well, unless you go to Austin, and that's why I don't like Austin. I'm not like it like that. Like I can weekend vacation, or I can't live there. I'm like, oh, no, this ain't for me. But don't focus on that. Focus on the opportunity of what's there, and it'll really expand because like our oldest son, he'll be, 18 in 7 years. It's crazy to think about. But like you have to like be grooming. I'm like grooming them like, hey, having them try different stuff, go to different camps, go to like we had them in the dual language program. We're gonna try to get them back in, like teaching them 2 languages, teaching them Spanish fluently, and just opening them up to opportunity because it's like you don't bog your children down to where they don't want to explore and see the world or showing them this is the only way. Man, there's gonna be ways like your kids are gonna be able to see more than you once they hit that 18 because they're going to be moving around. We sitting at the house. Or we going to still be traveling because we're going to kick it.
We're traveling more.
Yeah, we're going to be traveling. But in general, though, I would definitely encourage, to tell your kids to go abroad, go somewhere. Don't kick. I'm not with the whole kicking them out, get out of my house and all that. I think that's goofy because they're still children. You know what I'm saying? A human brain don't develop till it's like fully developed till it's, I think it's 25 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But, don't do that, but just let them go make mistakes. And a lot of times, we're afraid of mistakes. We're like, and I think that goes with the school system. The school system teaches you, if it's a mistake, it's bad. But no, a mistake is just an opportunity to learn. And I want our children to know that. It's just an opportunity to learn. And I know I have to ease up on them because I know I'm real hard on, especially my oldest. I'm real hard on them, and I have to ease up on that. But at the same time, embrace mistakes. Like it's just an opportunity to learn. A lot of people, they don't take risks because they're like, it could go wrong. Like it's supposed to go wrong. And if it goes wrong, you learn from it, and whatever you learn from it, you can pass it on. You can 10X it, because you know how to build a system around whatever it is that went wrong. It's just like when you broke down in the dorm. You said you broke down a couple times. I didn't really break down, but like, what was weird about me? I broke down when I was leaving because I mentally made up in my mind I wasn't going to go back. I was like, I ain't going back. So I'm like, okay. I was like, I'll sleep in my car before I go back. But, I had a good support system. My parents, my sisters, my aunts, my brother, they all supported me, and I got to where I needed to be. But, it is important. Like, you have to push yourself. And I think that's why we're good at business, because we push ourselves. Not good at business, but we're willing to take chances on business because we've pushed ourselves, at a young age. And you got to keep on pushing yourself, and you realize the opportunities are endless. Sorry, off my soapbox.
No, that's good. That's good stuff. I don't even know if I can respond to all that, but that was great.
No, for real, but no, and I'm gonna also take it a step further of me and our relationship. I think that's one thing that really clicked in it because we both had left home. We both were willing to see different things. And another thing about you, and I always talk about this, the first thing I always asked you was like, okay, what you doing after college? Mm-hmm. And you said you wasn't going back home. I was like, okay, cool. And then you ended up coming to Dallas, and I had only been living here like a few months. So I'd been living here a few months, and then, we ended up, kicking it off, and it ended up working out. But we both were willing. We were both looking for opportunity, and we were able to 10X that with our marriage and our relationship. And a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to still do more traveling. I believe that, it's never too late to learn or to 10X your mindset at all. So even if you just get around people who have done more, that can also be a way to expand your mindset. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and I'm happy we, are able to, like, our experiences, we're able to give them to our kids, because even I'm going to take it a step back a little further. Even if we actually look at the Northwest, right? Mm-hmm. Our parents technically moved to the Northwest, or our grandparents, like your grandparents moved up there. My parents moved up there. So we've always been basically a transition that's come from our family background, is transitioning. Like, we will move around, you know what I'm saying? And I think I'm happy our generation was a part of that. What do they call it? The Great Migration for Black people. Like, because my dad lived in Chicago. He migrated up to Chicago. My uncle migrated to Detroit, and he ended up settling in Oregon. But, I'm happy we were part of that, because I think that helps us see the opportunity.
Yeah, the risk takers.
Yeah, there you go, the risk takers. I love it. That's the way to look at it. And
honestly, I think that you can limit your mind also by not taking risks. So let's say we moved here. We took a risk when we were 18. And got here, and that was it. We stopped taking risks. Like, of course, we have some good background, on taking risks. But I think if you're not continuously pushing your risk factor, you're cheating yourself.
I agree on that. Yeah, because we continuously take risks. Like, and I'm gonna be real. All the risks we take always end up being a blessing in disguise, because it comes back 10x on us. Like our mentorship program, we just went and viewed a wholesale deal. That came from taking a risk of joining a mentorship program, meeting people, and now those people calling us, hey, I got this deal in Dallas. Go take a look. We would have never got that if we didn't take the risk of spending, it was a couple bands, you know what I'm saying? But that money we spent on mentorship, 10x that easily. The knowledge, the people we get to be around, and also another thing, invest in yourself. That's one thing we do. We invest in ourselves, I know we've talked about the mentorship program we in there, but we had to have a whole sit down, we about to spend all this money, and it's 10x itself, so definitely take risks. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Embrace them. And once you embrace them, learn from them, of course, and then keep on pushing.
For sure, you guys. Well, let us know in the comments what's one of the biggest risks you've made as an individual and within your marriage. We'd love to hear about it. Love to hear you guys' stories.
Yeah, and also talk to us about your kids. Are y'all encouraging your kids to move abroad? Are y'all afraid of them to leave home? Because I know sometimes that'd be a thing. You don't want your kids to leave home. So yeah, let us know, and thank y'all for tuning in.
If this conversation resonated with you and you want to go deeper,
join us inside the EntrepreMarriage Inner Circle on Patreon. You'll find the link in the show notes. And while you're here,
make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes.
You can also join our EntrepreMarriage Facebook community. The link is in the description to keep the conversation going between episodes.
Thanks for watching.
Until next time,
keep building wealth
without losing the marriage.